Hello, beautiful people. It's Mai here from Nintendo Life, and I'm not alone. I am joined by the very, very chatty, waffly Alex and the ever so wonderful Jim.
Perfect amount of waffle on Jim. Perfect amount.
Yes. And we're going to have a wee chat about the new Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition Bellabel Park goodness that just came out. So, lads, you've both played the game.
Yes,
what are your
indeed.
thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, I have indeed played Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bellabel Park. I've got it. I've said it so many times now that I can actually remember it. What a luxury. Yes, if you've seen our review, you'll know the broad strokes, and this is just going into a little bit more detail. A few things that, other extra points we wanted to cover, stuff like that. If you've seen that, you know my opinion, you know Jim's opinion. But just to reiterate, Jim, why don't you start?
Yeah, sure. I too have played Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bellabel Park, and I think that it's fine. The base game, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, was excellent when it launched, 3 years ago in 2023. It was a great game, and it is still a great game today. There's not a huge amount to report on as far as Switch 2 visual upgrades go. It looked very pretty when it first came out, and spoiler, it still looks very pretty. But there are a couple of extra little bits for those who did play through the base game before. You've got Rosalina, who you can play as now, which is fun. There are a couple of assist options for people who tend to get hit by the Goombas. You can now play as any character and not worry about getting hit by the Goombas, which is great. There are also Pikmin cameos this time around, which is doubly great. Doubly great. That was a massive surprise playing through. Everything else, in my opinion, and Alex, I know that you agree with me, is a little bit...
Yeah, more than anything, I feel like it's untapped potential. The idea of what they could do, and what was so... I think I mentioned this in my personal thoughts, but what I found so refreshing about Wonder specifically was that we had the new games and it was always, oh, it's Mario, oh, it's all the standard art style and all this sort of thing. And then Wonder was like, wow, we're doing something different, guys. Whoa, look at this. You become the Goomba. And so many other things that really elevated the experience and made it feel like, oh my god, this is like really special. Like they've really gone, you know what, let's just have fun with Mario rather than having these sort of like tight down shackles. And Meetup in Bellabel Park recycles so much of the base game, but a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time, it misses out on what was the biggest and shiniest part of it. The Wonder effects. Yes, they're in there. For example, you've got the Koopaling fights, and they use Wonder effects to do all that sort of stuff. It's very flashy, it's very fun. I really like the Koopaling fights. But those are the only instances. Like, when you play all the multiplayer stuff, which we'll get onto in more detail, there's no Wonder stuff! Like, you're on a bouncy ball or something. Or you're in a shoe that flies. They've missed the Wonder from Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And I'm severely, severely disappointed in the game. There was so much they could have done, and they just decided to go with what I consider to be the bare minimum. They're ticking boxes and going, there's some extra stuff, buy it. And I'm just not convinced.
And I know that we'll get into specifics in just a minute, and I know that you have some questions about it, Mai, but I never like to judge a game based on it not being exactly what I wanted it to be. That's not fair
absolutely.
To judge a game for that.
Yeah.
That said, Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bellabel Park could have been the biggest slam dunk by just adding an extra world or two.
Yeah.
We heard the developers talk when the game first came out. We heard the developers say that they had thousands of Wonder ideas and they had to leave 99% of them on the cutting room floor. If you just gave me 10 more of them,
5 more.
such a slam dunk. I would have been so very pleased with that. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. So having just said, I don't like judging a game by what it's not, I kind of am doing exactly that.
God.
You never said you weren't a hypocrite.
Hey, not me.
I'll tell you what, though, coming from someone who's not, like, I've seen people play Mario Wonder. I want to play Mario Wonder. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. But hearing this all from you guys kind of makes me question whether or not I should just get the standard Switch 1 edition rather than just go for the Switch 2. But,
honestly, if there's anyone out there watching that has the same view as I would really say, yeah, go for the original Switch 1 version, because it is an incredible game. I love it to death, but there's just the Switch 2 version. Yeah, it's in 4K. Yeah, there's some extra stuff, but you're paying a premium for a load of stuff that, to be brutally honest, is kind of boring and not worth it. There's a few things in there that we do like. Jim, the flower power-up. What did you think of that?
I said in my review, it's like the bubble flower, but not as good. It's a power-up that looks cool. It's a cool outfit. It is used for throwing a power flower directly up in the air, which is not utilized very much at all. And there's a point why it's not utilized. It's because you're only going to find it in the new single-player content, which are those Koopaling battles, those very good Koopaling battles that Alex mentioned. You can take it over into the base game if you acquire it and last through the level with it. You can then take it back over into the base game with it, but you're not going to be using it all that often because it only applies for enemies that are directly above you or directly above and a little to one side. It's not all that. It feels like a lot of this content that's new, quote unquote new this time around, it feels like something that was just kind of bolted on for we need an extra something, we need a new bit of key art, let's give Mario a funny hat.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I was going to... I think we all kind of know the answer as to why they've released it with a little bit of extra bells and whistles, a la the 4K upgrade and the DLC.
Bellabels?
The Bellabels. But yeah, I think we all kind of know what the answer is. It's just an extra bit of dosh for the movie coming out, isn't it? So, which I'm hoping, the cynical side of me is hoping that isn't the case, because I'm someone who has been very excited to play it, but I want a reason to play it rather than just, Koopa Links.
And I will still say, I think that we have been kind of tiptoeing around this already, but if you are in a similar boat to and you're wondering whether to play Super Mario Bros. Wonder, you absolutely should play Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It is really, really good. And the Switch 2 version, if you want to spend the extra money and get the Switch 2 version, you will still have a great time with the base game. It's the best 2D Mario has been in yonks.
Decades, I would say.
In decades, yeah. We're not by any means saying that the entire package is disappointing, because if you've never played the base game before, you're going to have so much fun for those 10 hours that it lasts. But if you're coming to this expecting something that's going to completely change your perception of the game if you played it 3 years ago, I just don't think you're going to find it here.
I suppose for me it's a little bit, and I do mean a little bit, like the special editions of the original Star Wars trilogy, with the exception that obviously Bellabel Park doesn't change anything in the base game really, so I want to make that clear. But the idea that adding more stuff in can take the shine off the overall product. And, sort of when it comes to people talking about it and reviewing it, I think some people may well have been shocked that we gave the game, or rather Jim specifically, but representing Nintendo Life as a whole, we gave the game 6 out of 10. But that is because we're focusing on the new stuff. The new stuff is underwhelming. The new stuff is disappointing, and it does mean that as people who love the base game, it kind of tarnishes it a bit, I love being able to see it in 4K. I think it looks great, but you know what? The original looked great as well. I don't know. It just, and considering, if this had, in theory, and I mean in theory, been like a £5 update or even a £10 update, I would have been like, it's no great shakes, but you know what? £10, £10, it's in 4K, the Koopaling fights, okay, maybe that would be justified. But I just don't think £17, $20, whatever it is, I just don't see it as being worth that. It feels like they're really overcharging for what it is, and they've added this extra stuff in to kind of spread it out, but it's very thin. The multiplayer stuff, like, the online especially, the co-op stuff is a bit better, but it's still kind of like, oh, I've done that. No desire to go back to it ever, but the online stuff especially, 5 out of the 6, we've been through this in the review so many times, but 5 out of the 6 events are races. Yeah, you use different things, but it's just a race. It's just, I understand. There are limitations with a 2D platformer. But I don't know why, when there's more variety in the offline, local co-op, not necessarily co-op, some of it's co-op, but not all of it. There's more variety there. Why is that not transferred over? And I'm not saying it has to have exactly the same amount of variety, but 5 out of 6 being races is just not fun. And you're going through the same damn levels that you played through God knows how many times, but now, watch out, you gotta beat your friends. Not with a stick in time.
No, but you could be any character now, though, eh? in the game.
Yeah, you can. This was the thing, as I was replaying through the stages, even those great Koopaling boss battles, which take place in stages that you've been through before, but now with a wonder effect applied to them, I realised it was something that hadn't really dawned on me as I'd played the base game or any Mario games previously. When there are no collectibles, when there are no big coins or no wonder seeds to be looking out for, the levels themselves are quite short. You can speed through. If your objective is just going from left to right, and you're not thinking about, maybe I should go and check up there because there might be a big coin or there might be a wonder seed, you can get through them quite quickly. And I know that we both found, Alex, in the races in particular, where the very objective is to get through it as quickly as possible, then it means that you don't really have enough time to get invested because 20 seconds have gone by and that's it, the race is done. And you move on to the next one, which is similar again, and then that one's done. It kind of made the multiplayer stuff, both in local and in online, made maybe the biggest sin for a multiplayer game or a mini player based multiplayer game like this, where not after finishing any of them, did I think, I want to go back again and beat my friend, or I want to go back again and better my score. All of them I finished and thought, that was fun, but that was that.
I mean, this might be a bit of a stupid question because how I mentioned, you can play any character now. Is it a bit like 3D World where you're playing each different character has a benefit or has a bit of a negative? Because I know that for example, with Peach in 3D World was a lot quicker, kind of running through the levels. Is it anything like that in Wonder, or is it just no differences whatsoever?
All the characters behave essentially identically. Obviously, you've got things like Nabbit, who doesn't take damage and things like that. And Yoshi, Yoshi and Nabbit can't use power-ups. But apart from that, it's the same. And there are even certain mini-games that you play in the multiplayer where you are forced into certain characters. I chose Rosalina. I was forced to be a light blue Yoshi. And that, it makes sense. It makes sense in the context of the level and everything like that. Not got an issue with that. But it just, there's no major incentive to switch things up. But at the same time, I like the fact that there's no punishment for choosing a particular character.
Okay, fair enough. Throughout this whole chat, I am kind of toying with the idea of whether or not I should personally play it, but I'm sure that people watching as well will probably feel the same, because initially Wonder wasn't, it's a first party Nintendo title, so regardless of it being the Switch 1 or the Switch 2 edition, price is always going to be a big factor as well. I know that as you said, the DLC with the upgrade, with everything being it, all the extra bells, Bella bells and whistles. I had to say that.
That's only the second time that's come up in this video.
Like it does come into like a factor with whether or not you should buy it. Like I must admit, I did look today and see like how much the first game would be, like the Switch 1 edition should be, compared to how much it would be if I got the Switch 2 edition. Oh, which should I just get the Switch 1 and then get the DLC and blah blah blah. I might go that way. I'm personally not sure, but I'd be interested in seeing, like, is that something that you guys would have done initially if you knew ahead exactly what you were getting into with the Switch 2 edition?
I don't know. I mean, I think that it does depend on what you want out of this game. These mini games might appeal to, like, if you are a family unit with young children who want a party game that's maybe not too heavy on like skill-based challenges. This might appeal to you. It might do. It doesn't quite have the party vibes. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. The multiplayer stuff. It's a shame that it stars Mario and Friends, because the whole time that I'm playing it, I think Mario and Friends have got party games that are so better found elsewhere. And look, if that kind of stuff is up your street, then like it will be great. And like we said previously, the single player main campaign is still awesome. It still rules, and you can play it as Rosalina now, which will be great for some people, particularly after coming out of watching the Mario Galaxy movie. Mm-hmm. That is going to tick a lot of people's boxes. It also has Pikmin in it now, which for people like me, that works. That works because you can see the Pikmin in some levels, and that's very cute. They add nothing to the game, just to be abundantly clear. If you want to play Mario Wonder and you want to play it in its newest form, and you want all of the content that Nintendo's possibly thrown at it, regardless of the quality of that content, then the Switch 2 edition is you will have good fun with it, particularly if you've never played the base game before. But if you want just the base game, then the Switch 1 version is there.
Yeah, I suppose, if you're the sort of person who can play a Mario Party game and can play those modes where it's just the mini games without the board game, and you can have a really good time with it, I think you could definitely enjoy this. But for me, even then, I don't think the mini games are as good as many of the Mario Party mini games. But, sort of the Mario Party mini games, even those in isolation, are not interesting. What's interesting is when you're doing something like the board, you're going around the board and things happen, and then it's mini game time, and that causes the balance to shift. That, it provides a context, it provides a foundation for why you're doing these mini games. There is like the series, the Wiggler mode, whatever it is, and you get Tour. Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Meetup in Bellabel Park Tour. You get that, and it's basically just doing a series of them. It's not enough. It's just suddenly now it's keeping track between multiple things. It's not enough. I need something else to kind of tie those bits together. But if you don't, there's always game modes in Mario Party where you just play the damnable mini games. Mm-hmm. If that's your bag, then you could find some fun here. But if you do, if you're not really big into mini games and stuff like that, I don't know. Just go with the base game. You can always upgrade if you go for the base game, but you'll never get that £17 back if you go straight in with the Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Well, maybe if we're lucky, they'll end up doing an update in the next year. Well, they'll add even extra few bells and Yoshis. Bella bells and Yoshis, I don't know. But that's me being, Madam Optimist as usual. Yeah. So before we finish up, gents, if you could give Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition taking a stroll around Bellabel Park tour wishy-washy, if you could give it 2 words just to kind of give you your whole experience for the game, what would they be? Or one, which one comes to mind.
unnecessary baggage.
Pikmin. Yay!
I love that.
I like that. We get both ends of the spectrum then.
This is exactly what I was trying to do. You're welcome.
Amazing. So with that, thank you for joining me with this chat, my dears. It's been a fun one, but let us know in the comments below if you will be picking up. This game has got too long a title, so I'm just going to say Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition, etc., etc. And even then, that's too long. But if you're going to be picking up, let us know in the comments below. Why don't you give that subscribe button a little Pikmin yay?
Pikmin yay.
A Pikmin yay. And check out nintendolife.com for more lovely bits and bobs. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Bye.
Open the damn video. I promise I won't interrupt you.
Yeah, right. Mario, I was going to call you.
Yeah, right, Mario.
Okay. Hello,
Come on,
beautiful
let's
people.
go.
Shut up. I'm trying to start the video.